What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. This is a re-upload to a video that I posted a few days ago. The delivery was strong, but I want this delivery to be even stronger. And if you're watching this video around children, please pause this video and remove them from your immediate vicinity because my videos are not for children. End of discussion. Now, people, when it comes to the history of this country, we have to take it into strict consideration that these people who are behind the scenes and who run this so-called entity or construct called the United States Court, or what I would like to refer to as the island of Ceres, because that's what it is, but we'll get there later on down in the series later on. You have to realize that they want to cover their misdoings by legislation, legal suppression, or anything of the like. Our problem is that we don't want to acknowledge the fact that this history, in and of itself, is very tainted, and is very tainted with misdeeds of people that you call yourselves leaders. Straight. Why is that? Well, it's because of the socially engineered cowardice that they totally prescribed upon your education and have hindered you from actually living to your full potential. But it was only done because of brutishness, force, and legal execution, which literally in one and all are the fucking same. You know, the country in which you live, you only want an ideological sense of peace. You don't want to do shit for yourself. This is only for a select few, but in generalization, a lot of people don't want to do for themselves. They want the murdering, occupying force of these entities to basically dictate their life. And then they wonder why they can't do shit. Internal spirit. The reason why I'm making this video, to be honest with you, is because you are one of the most raw and uncut people in the comment section. Because you don't give a motherfuck. Straight up. And I respect that. And I respect that because it's going to take a certain level of actual individualization, of character of self, to be able to determine your future. Stop hoping and wishing that shit will change and start changing it yourself. But we're going to get there later. We're not going to get there right now. That's not the basis of the video. Let's go. Killers of the Flower Moon. The Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI is a book that I suggest y'all go and get. There's a movie on it. There's a film depiction on it, but good luck trying to find it. I mean, you might find it, whatever. If you want to order it online as well, you can see the depiction of it. But it is the third nonfiction book by an American journalist by David Graham. The book was released in April 18, 2017 by Doubleday Publishing Corporation. Time magazine listed Killers of the Flower Moon as one of its top 10 nonfiction books of 2017. A film adaptation directed by Martin Scorsese and set to star Jesse Plemons, Leonardo DiCaprio, Lily Gladstone, and Robert De Niro is currently in production. Now, let's talk about it. The synopsis on the whole thing: the book investigates a series of murders of wealthy Osage people that took place in Osage County, Oklahoma in the early 1920s, which was the following year after the quote-unquote Tulsa race riots. But we know that it was all about wealth and economics that were being attacked and will continuously be attacked by parasites, you know, the parasitical force of government. And if you do a little bit more research into the Tulsa massacres, you'll also see that the United States government aided and assisted the citizenry that were deputized by government in order to eradicate people of color from their property and from their resources. The government assisted in the destruction of the economic stability of people of color and the indigenous people, straight up. But they want to say Black Wall Street. There was no such thing as called black. If you go back in the historical time and look at the context of the language, that was never existent. That's a fundamental fact. They wanted you separated from your economic development because reality is, people, this is a very rich land. And the truth is, these people who basically came over here, these fucking Neanderthals came over here and they came from fucking nothing and don't want you to have shit. So now they take everything from you, and then now they want to say that you don't do a motherfucking thing. And that's our problem, because we fail to realize that. See, we're not going to get into the whole revolution hype and all that. No, revolution is of self-determination. That's the revolution. That's why it will not be televised, because it's about you going about your own self-determination. If you let someone else or some other entity determine yourself, your future is fucked and you don't have one, and cut this video off. Straight up. Y'all don't want that. Y'all want peace, equality. Get the fuck out of here. These people want to keep taking from you and keep taking from you and keep taking from you until you really don't have enough. And then you're going to fuck around and turn it on yourself, which works for them. Stop letting other things and entities control your life, and start learning some self-determination. And stop giving away your fucking secrets of the future. Sometimes y'all need to keep some shit to yourselves. Straight. We are so quick to blurt out to the world what we're going to do. Sometimes you need to shut the fuck up and just do it and keep walking. Not talking, walking. Keep it to yourself, because that's the only way a plan can manifest. But you'll figure out what I'm saying later on down the line in the video. Here we go. After big oil deposits were discovered beneath the land, the Osage were awarded rights in court to profits made from oil deposits found on their land. The Osage people preparing to receiving the wealth to which they are legally entitled to them from sales of their oil deposits. Here's the proverbial but. However, a long and complex process of custodianship is imposed upon the distribution of the profits from the sale, being made from very high profits, and very few, if any of the Osage people see any of this money. Still, they are the legal owners of the land until this day, who have history of poor relations with the Osage people. Those elements hostile to the Osage people then decide they could greatly simplify their profit mongering of the oil profits by eliminating those whom consider to be operating as the middleman before they can abscond with the oil profits. The Osage are viewed as the middleman. How the fuck does the original owner wind up as the middleman? Oh, we get it. The colonizer and the court system. And then you become the subject matter. Doesn't that sound like just like when you go to court? It's always someone putting a claim against you, which is the court system. And then it's the opposite end. You're stuck in the middle. Middleman is always an element of the scale of balance. But let's go further. And a complex plot is hatched to put in place to eliminate the Osage people by inheriting this wealth from oil profits on a one-by-one basis by any means possible, which includes murder. Officially, the court of the murdered full-blood wealthy Osage reaches at least 20, but we know the number is way further than that. But Grant suspects that hundreds more may have been killed because of their ties to oil. The book details the newly formed FBI's investigation. Notice that's the birth of the FBI. This is the birth of the FBI. Investigation of the murders, as well as the eventual trial and conviction of the cattleman, William Hale, as the mastermind behind the plot. Do a little bit more research on William Hale, and I want to read on him a little bit, because he's no good son of a bitch. William Hale, born December 24th, 1874 through August 15, 1962. Damn, this son of a bitch lived a long life. Was an American cattleman and convicted murderer. Hale was a prominent figure of the Osage Indian Reservation in what was then the Indian Territory, where he built the Noted Hill Ranch and made a fortune raising cattle when Oklahoma gained statehood in 1907. The land occupied by the reservation became contiguous with Osage County, Oklahoma. A power player in the Osage Reservation, Hale rose to local prominence through years of bribery, extortion, and intimidation. In 1921, he ordered the murders of his nephew's wife and mother-in-law, followed by her cousins, sisters, and brother-in-law 2 years later to gain control of their oil rights. Ain't that a bitch? So, y'all better understand. I don't care what you may think. I don't care what the subscribers may think. I really am too old to give a fuck about that. Y'all live amongst a parasitical entity. And I will give you leeway to basically say that y'all had to make distinction between yourself and your conscience about who these people are. Now, we're not going to throw color on shit, because color don't mean a motherfucking thing. Negativity can come in all shapes and forms. But what I will say is this. We know exactly who the colonizers were. And we are not going to let them escape that motherfucking goddamn, that transgression that they progressed and made so prominent in order to gain their affluence in this country. Do not let them escape that responsibility. If you do, you are, quote unquote, a social bitch. Do not let these people escape their responsibility. You must remind them every day, in every angle and every chance that you get, that they do not belong here. See, prior to colonization, this landmass we reside on, the continual universal island of Turtle Island, continuously is supposed to progress. It is not supposed to be killed. We allowed parasites to come into our reality, just like that movie Avatar, and assume a likeness of help and wants to destroy this shit amongst every angle. And they took away the warrior spirit from a lot of people who are watching this video and who will watch this video in the future, because they took away your determination of self. Made you believe that a God in their image that they drew and constructed would come and save you one day, eventually. You never have a time, but come on now, people. Come on now. Wake the fuck up. Wake up. Stop being deceived by the deceiver. Because they're here because they want temporal eternalism. They want to be here temporarily, eternally. Real shit. We subscribe as a social whole to their system because we don't know no fucking better. And we don't want to be determined to change shit. That's why they're still here. You better understand that it was even a time when these motherfuckers used to actually use you as science experiments. Y'all forgot about Tuskegee? Planned Parenthood in your neighborhood? How the fuck is it Planned Parenthood when you abort a child? How could it be planned? It's not parenthood. That's death. They don't want you here. But this literally is your shit. There's going to come a time where legislation and laws and rules does not make the determination of character. It's going to come down to really the laws of nature. Which means some of y'all gonna have to go to war. Y'all don't want to though. Y'all just want to be treated equally. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. If you let this colonizing beast actually invade your fucking reality, you're done with. See, me, I know I'm a threat to quote unquote the establishment, but I don't need nobody to stand with me. I don't need a motherfucking soul to stand with me. Because guess what I have on my side? The truth. Straight. And the beast don't like that. I don't pledge allegiance to the beast. And I stand proudly by that shit. Even though a lot of you indoctrinated people who sit out there in computer land think that Lord Enlightened Luciferian Prince means that I have some allegiance with the evil side. You got me fucked up. You don't really know who the fuck you are. Because in reality, if you really think about it, Lucifer is actually Jesus fucking Christ. Now, I know this might be hard for a lot of y'all to stomach, but they're one and the same. Do a little bit more research and then holler at me later. It's the same fucking thing. And he's not a white man. It's not a he either. It's an entity called Venus. It's planetary. It's not physical. But they knew that you would never grasp that concept. Straight. I am the keystone to this shit in regards to my own personal life. Period. That's a determinative factor. It's not something that's prescribed by man. That's something that was actually given by a revelation of the divine, which is beyond man's comprehension. But man wanted to boil it down to his concept of being God and government. Y'all better understand, y'all really have been set the fuck up for generations. And now is the time than any other time in history for you to really realize what you're really dealing with. It's not playtime no more. You cannot be the majority being ruled by a minority of parasites. You must let the parasites die. Stop having too much sympathy and too much kindness and let the system in and of itself of the parasitical nature ruin itself while you need to progress. You have so much more sympathy for anything other than your own fucking kind. That's the problem. The violence, the indoctrination, the social humiliation has to stop. It is time to stop acting, quote unquote, like niggers and start acting like the God that lies within. Stop letting other people determine your nature or who you are. And start really becoming determinative in yourself. Stop worrying about what may happen and start doing, because if you start doing, you already found the solution to what may happen next. Now, I know this is going to fall on deaf ears because a lot of people are indoctrinated. It is what it is. But if you are not determined to change your fucked up ways that you inherited from the Babylonian system, you're fucked. And there's nothing I can do to save you. And I'm not really even trying to save you. To help you and assist you, that I will do. But if you don't even have the determinative factor to change who you are and what you are, there's no hope for you. And you will die in fucking Babylon. Oh, and they don't mind recycling souls. They don't. They will recycle your ass again and again. You'll be stuck here still complaining in another lifetime. You don't believe it? Believe it. It's a fact. They don't mind. See, they love parasiting off of you. They love extracting the thought process from your spiritual body. You don't even believe it, but yeah, you're in prison. Even though you're not in a prison with a uniform, actually you really are. You wear labels. These designer labels, yeah, you're in jail. You're enslaved to your rent, your mortgage. You are enslaved to a systematic indifference that doesn't give a fuck about you, but will suck every amount of profit off of you. And you bust your ass to get those labels. And they love sweat equity. These families together in a designer culture amount over $148.7 billion. And you dumb sons of bitches keep putting these fucking names on your back. Notice where it goes, on your back. Y'all ain't ready to hear it. Where was some of the most prominent exporters and importers of slave traders from? The same countries where you wear these fucking labels from. Y'all gotta be out of your goddamn mind. But y'all will listen to the hijacker because really, in all actuality, they're not even supposed to be here. Y'all gave them governance. Y'all even allowed, literally, y'all allowed them to call themselves the chosen of God. And y'all don't say a motherfucking thing. Let them reduce you to a point of dust to celebrate this cracker ass 4th of July. To a dust. And yes, I said it, and I don't care. Because you have to confront the adversary where it confronts you. So yes, I'm talking to the adversary. Celebrate freedom. Fuck out of here. And a lot of you other people on the opposite end of the spectrum, they got y'all just hook, line, and sinker too. Don't think y'all free because you have a certain type of hue or texture or skin color. You are enslaved, if not more now, than any other time in history. You might not like what I have to say, and I generally don't give a fuck. I don't care. See, because I know what stands on my side. Period. Y'all ain't ready for this shit. These people want to take and cause destruction at every angle. But because you lack self-determination, You will lose. And that, I don't give a fuck if you are dark or white. I don't care what you call yourself. I do not care. You're going to lose because there's a lot of shit you think you know that you don't really fucking know. See, when it comes down to self-determination, it's all about how you should want to live in life. But when you have groups and quiet groups of people who communicate secretly together, who don't have your best interest at hand, you are not aware of the knowledge that they actually possess, you're going to fucking lose. And they're going to keep you infighting. It's called divide and conquer. This shit is as old as the world itself. The order of the Brotherhood of the Snake still exists amongst this society today. See, the seed of Seth needs to rise up and actually dispel this stuff in order for the progressive whole of self to progress. So they want to suppress that shit. They keep y'all divided in mentality with this whole vaccination and go do this and do that. And y'all do it. Put a mask on. Do this, do that. Y'all do it. Y'all don't want to say no. And that's why tomorrow's generation is fucking doomed. Because you don't have the determination to say no. See, me, I'll tell you what. I like being left with no choice. I love being left with no choice at all. None. I don't even want a choice. Because that means it compels me to act the way I was supposed to fucking do in the first place. See, too many choices is indecisive for a lot of people in society. And that's how they're allowed to socially engineer you. To all my melanated brothers and sisters, they want to divide our household. They got the sisters thinking feminist, and they got the brothers wanting to walk the way of homosexuality. Get out of that. That's Babylon for you. I don't need no man. Yeah, you do. You don't think you do, but you do. Let a woman get a flat tire. First thing she's going to call, if she got a brother, she's going to call his ass. You might not think you don't, but you do. To all the other brothers who are being influenced by the so-called social influence of homosexuality. Get out of that shit. Get out of that. Get out of the influence because they want us out of here. Just like they did to the Osage people, they want us going. We ain't going no fucking where. And if they want us going, give us a square up, full-fledged motherfucking even battle. And we'll talk about it from that point. We don't need machinizations from this shit. No. Give us an even battle. Give us an even war. Make it even. Straight. Grab you a book called Art of War. Let me tell you something. You ain't going to beat the enemy on their home ground. Because a lot of people have the enemy's ideology in favor. They are not determined of self. Straight. They want to label you something that you're really not, and then you actually turn into that because you start believing in those concepts. That's social engineering. Don't believe in that. Don't believe in it. Don't even give it credence. Learn to love amongst your own. Learn to build your own. Learn self-determination. And get away from that because the more you build, the further you get away from that shit. That's the only way you're going to make it. But people be like, oh, no, man, shut up, man. Shut the fuck up. Because eventually, you will be the seed that doesn't exist. And that's fine. Simple. This is what we have now before us, people. I don't care if the people on the opposite side of the spectrum, as you watch this video, yes, this is fundamental facts. But what I will say at the conclusion of this video is you don't have the blueprint, nor will you ever have the blueprint. It is not my business to actually explain the blueprint to you. No, I would never do that. But to the others, the brothers and sisters and the mothers and the grandmothers, because I believe that I still have ancestors who I speak to through these very videos who I'm talking about. I am totally aligned with you if you are aligned with the truth. If you're not about the truth, then I'm not aligned with you. Straight. That's the way it goes. Period. First time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. It's your first time viewing this content, make sure you hit the notification button so that way every time I upload a video, you'll be informed. Agents, fuck you. Straight up. Straight. In discussion. I ain't gotta say that to y'all. Y'all already know y'all some pieces of shit. Y'all already know y'all some pieces of shit. Y'all did some fucked up shit over years, and I've done plenty of research to know y'all done some fucked up shit. Y'all know y'all fucked up. And y'all pledge to lead to this beast, and that's the same energy that's going to take you down with this motherfucker. We just do not consent. We choose to live our life in a determinative factor because we live by the divine creative force of individual self, not by what your fucking black and white papers say. I just pointed out for people. But it's up to people to determine themselves to do it themselves. They don't want to, fine. But I speak totally against the system, and it is what it is. See, it'd be different if you can accuse me of doing some negative, illegal shit, but I don't. The truth, if it becomes illegal, then I will die for that. I will die for that. Literally. No greater love has a man for his friends than to lay his own life down. It is what it is. But that's just the way it rolls. See, I ain't afraid of death. I'm not. I don't fear that shit at all. Y'all do, because you know your creative potentialities has been cut off because of the temporal. See, you're looking at the face of the eternal. See, I'm not afraid of that shit. I'm not. That was just something that was introduced into the reality to otherwise control people from wanting them to ascend to the higher planes. Well, that's not for me. Nor should it be for anybody else who wants to live in a determinative self, to let their higher spiritual essence grow. Death is literally the beginning. Why you think Jesus ain't came back yet? You think about it. Don't even answer that question. Take care.